Hello, and welcome to the first of what will be a series of videos chronicling my time through the Advocare 24-Day Challenge. My name is Dean Bortel. I'm a 37-year-old living in Dallas, Fort Worth area. I've lived here since 2007. I have a beautiful family, my wife Lisa, my two daughters Alexis, who is 6, and Avery, who is 3, and they are my world. They are the center of everything I do. They're the reason for everything I do. And they are a huge part of why I'm doing this video series. I've never done a YouTube video series. I am a very private person by nature, but at the advice of some friends and close relatives, I will be making this series to help keep me motivated and to possibly, and most importantly, help motivate some other people out there. So what makes my story so interesting? Well, you're right, there's a lot of 24-day challenges that are documented on the web. Mine is unique in the fact that I'm a disabled veteran. I was exposed to an extremely high dose of radiation in 1997 while serving in the United States Navy. Now, the kind of radiation I was exposed to is commonly known as RF, or radio frequency radiation. It was of enormous power. To put it in perspective, your cell phone gives off 1/4 of 1 watt. 0.25. Now, you've seen on TV studies and doctors going back and forth debating, if you will, on how dangerous it is over the long term. Well, if you take that 1/4 of 1 watt and what they say its risk for cancers and other diseases are, you'll see that no one really agrees. And that's where I was 10 years ago. I was exposed to 150,000 watts at 3 feet for approximately 60 seconds. How? Well, I worked on high power radars in what is known in the civilian world as clean rooms. We had a waveguide failure. It was an accident. It wasn't even a maintenance activity I was involved in, but it did flood the compartment with radiation. A few people who were there are extremely ill. I'm one of them. Some of them have passed on. Frank is talking about you. I miss you, bud. I'd do anything to get you back here. But it just wasn't meant to be. So I'm making this video series. I'm dedicating it to them and other people who were there the day of that horrible accident. Now, what has it done to me? Well, about 5 years ago, started getting really ill. And this is, if you do the math, it was approximately 10 years after the accident. Got hard to breathe, frequent cough, asthma-like symptoms. And in fact, initially it's what the VA diagnosed it as, was asthma. They did this because it's a symptomatic diagnosis. We as a species don't totally understand what that kind of radiation, and especially in that power, does to people. For the tech heads out there, and I'm sure some of you will be here, it's at 9.5 gigahertz, 150 kilowatts. So yes, it's a horror story. So they diagnosed me with asthma, and as the years went by and the medicines and tests and CAT scans and MRIs and every imaginable test they could run on me, it continued to progress and get worse. Now, the way you can diagnose it mostly is watch how the lung function starts to decrease. What you'll notice is there's a score called FEV1, and that is forced expiratory volume. That's how fast you can blow air out of your lungs. Mine was falling off a cliff. I currently sit at about 28 to 31% of what a 37-year-old should be able to do. They changed their diagnosis, I'll never forget this day, December 20th of 2010. Now, my mother, and I call her my mother because she was always there as a child, and that's how I look at her, Marcia. She'll remember the day because I called her first. You can imagine being a 37-year-old and getting the kind of news I got. They changed my diagnosis from asthma to bronchiolitis obliterans. And what that is that is a disease, a degenerative disease, that is oftentimes fatal. I think if you look it up, Wikipedia says oftentimes life-threatening. I think that's a courtesy to those of us who have it. But it's extremely rare. It's often deadly. and there is no cure. So I want to stress here that me going through this 24-day challenge and everything I'm doing, I understand there's no cure. It's about improving my quality of life, and it's about being here for my family and my children. I'm not going to get emotional. Longer, because at this rate, I don't have a whole lot of time left. The numbers continue to fall. I'm now taking medicines to counteract side effects of other medicines. So this is my last stand, and I'm doing it for the other people who were there that day, and most importantly, I'm doing it for my friends and my family. I'm not going to go out like this. So, why the 24-day challenge? Well, I stay active, I work out, I swim 3 times a week minimum. I have a saltwater pool, I'm very blessed to have that. So I swim 3 days a week, 4 days a week. That would be more my average, would be 4 days a week. And I've plateaued. I'm still putting on weight. That's a result of one of the medications I'm on called prednisone. I've been on it for several years. My daily dose is about 17.5 milligrams this week. I have been able to step down from 20. My pulmonologist and I are doing a 2.5 milligram taper. So we're at 17.5 now, we're going to come down 2.5 a week. Our goal is to get down to 10. In a strange twist of irony, the radiation is killing me slower than the prednisone. Prednisone is a miracle in the short term. Anyone who's tried it will tell you, but it's deadly in the long term. So we're going to try to get down to 10. We failed once before, and I ended up in the hospital. I'm taking several supplements from Advocare, but I'm being closely monitored by 2 doctors. One of them is my family practitioner. He's been my doctor since 2007. His name's Dr. Daniel Fleming. I have received permission from him to refer to him by name in this video. If anyone in the DFW area is looking for an outstanding doctor, and I'm not talking about good, I'm talking about incredible, you need to look up Dr. Daniel Fleming. I'll put his contact information on this video. He's with Breckenridge Family Medical. He's at the George Bush Turnpike, and I believe it's Jupiter. There's a big Methodist hospital on the north side of the road there. If you need help and you're getting frustrated with your doctors, I can't promise you miracles, but I can promise you he's the best I've ever worked with. My pulmonologist, the lung doctor, is the best I've ever worked with in that field. But I haven't got permission to say his name. He's at the VA. He comes and goes. So I'm not going to mention his name yet. Hopefully I'll get his permission to mention his name, and I'll put it out there. So that's my backstory. Where I am now, I'm 218 pounds. I've got a 41-inch waist measured around the belly button. No cheating. A lot of people like to measure around that belt line. When you're figuring out body mass index, that's not where you measure. You go across the belly button, get those love handles in there, and you have to count them. You got to own them. So my body mass index right now with my height of 71 inches is a 31 point something. I went in yesterday to Dr. Fleming's office and got a complete physical, blood panel, everything done. So I'm obese. That qualifies as obese. Now, my physicians tell me that because of the prednisone, that's okay. It's not for me. I'm falling off a cliff here. I am going to make this last stand, and it's going to be a heck of a stand. My doctors and my family are going to help me. They're involved. My daughter, Alexis, who's 6, will be doing the filming for me. For those of you wondering, we're using the Canon T4i. It's the new Rebel. It does 1080p video, so check it out. It's a good camera. I barely have scratched the surface on how to use it. I urge you, those of you who want to follow me through this journey, to follow me online. I'm on Twitter. Just look up Advovet, ADVOVET.com. On Facebook, it's dean.bortel.1. That's my Advocare website, because those are the products. I'm going to single source it, try their 24-day challenge. And if you want to follow me on YouTube, you've obviously found the right channel, so I urge you to please subscribe. I'll be making videos every day. I will be posting them every few days. My wife Lisa is going to help me. She's going to do some of the editing. We're using the free one that comes with Windows 7 Professional called Windows Live Movie Maker. I think you can download it for any version of Windows. So if you want to follow me, please do. And check back often as there'll be updates. I will continue to post to my Twitter and to Facebook. And if you want to join me, go to advovet.com. You can get the 24-day Advocare Challenge Pack there. I'll talk about the products in it in my next video. But I encourage each and every one of you to follow along. If you know a disabled veteran or you know someone who's fighting a horrible illness, please, I would be more than happy to communicate with them. You can email me, you can track my YouTube channel, you can look me up on Facebook. I've been through it. And when they say it takes a village, they're not kidding. To be young and sick is not a good thing, but it's certainly better than to be young, sick, and beaten. Don't give up. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep making these videos, and together at the end of this, we're going to look back on the results, blood work, and subjective numbers, and hopefully, there is some light at the end of this tunnel. Until next time, thank you.